going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Ringside Rundown podcast. My name is Eric Vasquez, and joining me on the line is my podcasting partner in crime. Yes, that rhymes. Coming straight from the Berg, she is none other than Shay Hickson. Shay, what's going on, my friend? How was your week?
Can't really complain. Got the Steelers winning, so that helps. And
Yeah, they're on a
you
roll.
guys won too. I was like, good for you guys beating Philly, which I was happy about, to say the least, because as a Pittsburgh sports fan, we don't like Philly anything. So thank you for beating the Eagles. We appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a good week for our football teams, huh? And yours is
Yeah.
not so bad. I know you were a little worried about your football team with Aaron Rodgers and everything, but it's not working out so bad for you guys.
Yeah, it's not terrible. I mean, I won't say we're not gonna play in the parade route yet for the Super Bowl, but I'm pleasantly surprised with how good we are right now. So hopefully we can keep that going. Of course, they have the Thursday night game this week, so try to stay up for that, but we'll see.
All right, well, contrary to what you're listening to, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a podcast about the NFL. This is a pro wrestling podcast where Shay and I talk about the things that are happening in the world of professional wrestling, whether it's in WWE, AEW, TNA, New Japan, Ring of Honor, anything that has to do with wrestling, we're talking about it on this show. And this episode, we have a very big episode because not only are we going to be talking about Crown Jewel Perth that happened this past Saturday, this upcoming Saturday, we have AEW WrestleDream. So we'll be giving you our predictions for AEW WrestleDream. And I'm excited to get into all of it. Both shows are going to be a lot of fun to talk about. So why don't we get into it? What do you want to discuss first?
Well, let's just get Crown Jewel out of the way because, of course, you have more expertise than I do. Because if anybody listened to our last few episodes, they would remember that I cannot watch the pay-per-views because they don't like Xfinity, and so I can't get the app. And I went on the record saying I refuse to pay more money than I was already paying. So yeah, we might as well just get that out of the way because I'm not going to really be able to contribute much to it. So we'll let you do the heavy lifting on that one, and I'll try to do the heavy lifting on WrestleDream. So
No problem at all. Just to let you guys know, I am a note taker, so it's gonna sound like I'm reading off of like a teleprompter or something, or I'm reading my notes, because if I don't take notes for like the recaps on the shows, then I'm not gonna remember anything that happens, and it's gonna be a pretty dull recap. So I take notes so it makes it seem like I've been paying attention and I know what the hell I'm talking about.
right? I mean, you do have the teleprompter though, sitting in your bedroom right now. They just don't need to know that.
Yeah,
But
exactly. Nobody sees what's going on in the Ringside Rundown studios.
yeah, exactly. We have our own secret studios that nobody knows about, but we'll keep it that way. Keep the mystery.
I have close to 3 pages worth of notes on just Crown Jewel, so why don't we get right into it? The first match of the night was the Australian street fight, and it was between the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns and the Tribal Thief Big Bronson Reed, and this match was a fun watch. I really enjoyed it, actually. Roman dominated much of the first half of the match, parading Reed around the ring and using whatever weapons he could find at his disposal. Bronson was only able to get minimal offense in until Bronson's running buddy Braun Breaker made an appearance, wiping out Roman with a spear at ringside. The Usos come down to the ring to neutralize the numbers, and we get a good amount of back and forth between the Vision and the Usos while Roman recuperates near the commentary table. Roman recovers and drops Bronson with the Superman punch. It looks like Roman was ready for the kill shot when Braun Breaker gets on the apron, changing Reigns' focus. Roman is now in between a propped up table and Bronson Reed when Jey Uso comes barreling in for a spear and takes out Roman Reigns as Bronson Reed moves out of the way in the nick of time. The way the table broke into a million pieces made for great TV. After Jey is taken care of by Braun, this puts Roman in perfect position for a tsunami. Bronson gets the win. Michael Cole chose a great line to solidify the win for Reed by making notice that Reed is only the second man to pin Roman Reigns in over a year's time. Huge, massive win for Bronson. Again, a fun watch with the perfect amount of carnage to expect in a match of this setting. I'm definitely interested in how they build up Bronson Reed from here. I gave the match 3 3/4 flames out of 5. Yeah, a great opening match, and it was a good amount of carnage, and definitely interesting with the Usos getting involved and the Vision getting involved as well.
Yeah, it was from the things I did see on Twitter, the stuff with the Usos and Roman and them, high drama, very,
Yeah.
very high drama, and it's definitely is going to make you want to tune in to see what's going on because clearly Roman's not too happy because they cost him the match, which also thank you to the Tribal Thief for coming through for me on the predictions. You know, I had to bring it up. That was literally the one thing we were different on, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little worried. I'm like, I might be going out on a limb here, but he came through for me, so I can't complain. But yeah, so Roman wasn't too happy because they cost him the match.
No, he wasn't
Jay's
at all.
not happy, and Jay's not happy because it's like, well, we're just trying to help, and now he's just leaving like he always does. So it's like the Thanksgiving, you know, it can't even be the Thanksgiving table because he doesn't want to see him till Christmas. So
Yeah.
you know it's a big deal when he's like, I don't even want to see you guys until Christmas.
Yeah.
So for the next 2 months, shunned from the family holiday festivities, I guess. So it's gonna be interesting to see how it goes from here because it was just very tense.
Right. Everybody's pretty excited because they feel like the drama that made the bloodline so interesting to watch is back.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
everybody's really excited about the drama that this is building up. After the match, it's just the Usos and Roman in the ring. I thought this portion of the show was absolutely fascinating. While Roman is appreciative of his cousin's help, the reason he didn't want them involved, in his own words, was the whole world thinks I can't do shit on my own. He then goes on to tell his cousin, look, I love y'all, but I don't want to see you till Christmas.
Yeah, not even Thanksgiving.
Not even Thanksgiving, till Christmas. Is this Roman foreshadowing that we won't see any continuation of this story until December?
I hope not. I hope not because I think that's like the biggest problem people are having with Roman is that his stuff is so stop start that it's kind of like, okay, well, what's the point of even getting into it because you're going to be gone for a few months anyway. So, yeah, I really hope not. I hope we still get some continuation over the next few months, even if, you know, they're not going to be at the holiday table. But yeah, it was a good point that you made there that he's like, for the longest time when he was champion, that was everybody's thing with him was, well, of course he's champion because he has all these people helping him. He can't win on his own, blah, blah, blah. So that shit kind of sticks with you for a little bit. So it's not surprising that he's like, no, I want to prove that I can do this on my own. And not only did that not happen, it completely backfired. So yeah, a lot of drama that we've been wanting to see for quite a while.
Yeah, because it's been really interesting to see how the tribal chief operates with no bloodline, no backing, no power. You know, he's kind of had the Uso support, but it's not like it's been in the past, and it's definitely not like it's been in the past now that he told them, "Hey, you guys are screwing my shit up." So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens. I hope there's some build up between now and December, like Roman says,
Please.
because that was an interesting line. I don't want to see you till Christmas.
I wonder. It almost makes you wonder. Did he forget that there's Thanksgiving in between, or you know, did he actually mean that? So it'll be interesting. See what happens.
For sure, for sure. And then we have the next match on the card, Crown Jewel. It's the Women's Crown Jewel Championship. Women's World Champion Stephanie Becker taking on the Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton. And much like the opening match, I was actually really enjoying this match. The one thing I was paying attention to in this match is the contrast of experience. Becker has been doing this since she was a teen, whereas Tiffany has only been doing this for 4 years. These women went hold for hold, move for move, and it was a beauty. It also showed me one thing: Tiffany needs more matches and more opponents. Not because she's not good, but quite opposite. Tiffany Stratton is very good, and she can only get better with more matches against different people. As I said earlier, the match was dead even till the final moments. Stratton went for the Swanton Bomb, but Stephanie got the knees up and just colliding in time with Tiffany's neck. Vaquer does the Devil's Kiss, which everybody loves. Then
Of
climbs,
course.
then climbs up to the top rope and hits her corkscrew splash for the win. This is a case where a loss for Tiffany Stratton doesn't feel like a loss because of her great performance. Another notch in the breakout WWE career of Stephanie Vaquer. She made note on Monday Night Raw on Monday that she is the first ever person to win 4 championships in her first year in the WWE. How crazy is that?
That's a wild statistic, but if anybody would do it, I'm not surprised that it was Stephanie. So I think the biggest problem, because I know we kind of talked about it on the predictions video, is that I think my problem with Tiffany's title reign was the fact that it was too soon. I think they kind of bought too early into the hype around her, which I'm not saying she's not a bad wrestler. That's not the case at all. She can wrestle. However, I feel like it kind of reminds me a little bit of Jade Cargill in a way when she was with AEW, where it's like you shouldn't really be learning as you go when you have a title, because then it becomes very obvious that you may be a little bit out of your league. I guess that might be the best way to put it. So she probably needed more experience before she got that title, because then people wouldn't be questioning her reign and thinking of her as an afterthought, because that's kind of what I think the build up to this was that Stephanie's been so hot right now, and Tiffany's been seemingly facing Nia Jax every other month. So I think people were kind of just like, oh, I mean, all right, I guess. But good for Tiffany to rise to the occasion, though, for it to be such an even matchup. But yeah, I think if they would have just waited a little bit more, maybe she would have had a better title reign. I just feel like, at least for me overall, I feel like the reign has been a little forgettable.
Right.
But and again, that's through no fault of her own. That's through the creative decisions that have guided her reign, unfortunately. But yeah, good for her for having a really good match, for not completely getting, as we've said with Stephanie and other opponents before, getting dog walked by her.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that it wasn't so one-sided as I thought it was going to be. I was glad to be wrong on that one, but at the end of the day, the right one won. Like,
Yeah.
there was no way Stephanie was losing that match. Like, it just wasn't happening. So good for Stephanie.
Yeah, it was just I was just worried like we're gonna see uh Tiffany get exposed for being still green, and it was quite the opposite. Like I said, they were going
Yeah.
move for move, hold for hold, and some great wrestling, and you really couldn't tell that Tiffany has only been doing this for 4 years.
Yeah.
Compared to Stephanie Vaquer, who's been wrestling since she was in her late teens. Um, Really, really good stuff. And like I said, much to like what you say, the only way Stratton is not only going to get better but more believable as a champion is if she has more people to take on rather than the same Nia Jax matches
Yeah.
and stuff like that. She needs different opponents, different people, and she would be good, not necessarily saying it has to be this way, but like, in an open challenge sort of setting, like what Sami Zayn is doing every week, he has a different opponent. We don't know
Yeah.
who it is, but it's a different opponent every week. We could be doing the same thing with Tiffany Stratton, not necessarily every week, but every so often there's a build up with a different opponent, not just Nia Jax. So
Yeah.
I think that would
Yeah.
be the only way that she can get better, is just with more experience and more different opponents in the ring.
Yeah. I completely agree. Just give her something to do instead of just standing there, because it's not been doing her any favors at all.
For sure, for sure. All right, so we are backstage with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, who are still high on celebrating their win over Roman Reigns. They are approached by Paul Heyman, who instructs them that under no circumstances are they to come to the aid of Seth Rollins during his match with Cody Rhodes, no matter what Seth does. I think this is very interesting stuff. happening in the vision,
Yeah.
and it definitely got more interesting, which we'll get into later on. But
Yeah.
that brings us to our next match, which is AJ Styles versus John Cena for the very last time. And let me tell you guys, nothing I will ever write in my notes can do this match justice. This went from a
Yeah.
greatest hits match from their own personal arsenal to a greatest hits of their own rivals. We saw shout outs to The Miz, Randy Orton, The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, and even more. I feel like I'm going through a fever dream and I really don't
Yeah.
want to wake up. This is why wrestling is great. This match could have ended after Cena hit the first AA, but then he and AJ just decided to go crazy and deliver an all-time performance. This is in no way this is no doubt my WWE match of the year and easily the best match on John Cena's retirement tour. Cena breaks out a tombstone pile driver, then one last AA to finally get the victory over AJ Styles, and I need a freaking cigarette. AJ and Cena embrace in the ring, and I'm reminded why I love professional wrestling. This was match of the night, match of the year, 4.5 out of 5 flames.
Damn. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think you've rated anything 4.5 in quite a while.
No,
So,
I'm very strict with my ratings.
oh
But
yes, I know.
this one was just fun. I'm so sad that you didn't even get to see it. I feel like you should
Yeah.
pirate it or something because this
Steal
match,
it.
yeah, this match was, oh my God, it was so much fun.
Yeah, I mean we weren't surprised that this match was great. We expected this to be fantastic. So I'm glad that they did more than just what we expected because we expected the greatest hits. That wasn't a surprise,
Mhm.
but they didn't half-ass it either where they're like, all right, well we can do our stuff, but let's do like you said everybody else's stuff that we've faced over the years. I think Cena even did Sister Abigail too for Bray
Yes,
Wyatt. So that
yeah, the
was
Bray
nice.
Wyatt tribute was very nice.
And then everyone broke out the fireflies, and
Yeah.
that was a really nice one. I saw that one on Twitter. That was really made me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. But yeah, it's really not a surprise. It's just I'm glad that we're finally getting something decent from Cena's retirement tour because obviously, as we've talked about many times and in the predictions episode, was not too fond of how they've been booking this because let's be completely honest, a good majority of Cena's retirement tour has been absolute shit. Like,
Mhm.
there's no way around it. And especially after his last match kind of left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths, including mine. Um, is that going to fully go away at this rate? I don't think so, but that match with Styles, from what I could see, definitely was at least definitely an improvement from the last match, even though I think literally anything would have been an improvement from that one. But yeah, it was just looked fun. I mean, those are the kind of matches, like kind of what you were saying, and are kind of remind you why you love wrestling. When you just have those moments and those matches where that just makes you feel good.
Mhm.
That's why we're wrestling fans. So I'm
Yeah.
glad that you were able to get that out of it, and I'm sure a bunch of other people were able to get out of it too.
Yeah,
So
it was a lot
yeah,
of fun. It was a lot of fun. A great watch. It was one of those things where you could just sit back and really enjoy yourself with this
yeah,
match. You know, it was a lot of fun. So I definitely enjoyed it. And that brings us to our next match, which was kind of crazy. It was Rhea Ripley and Io Sky versus the Kabuki Warriors. And I say it was kind of crazy because I went from forgetting this match was happening to really
yeah,
enjoying it. I
yeah,
completely forgot about this match because I was just so blown away by the John Cena AJ Styles match that when they were going through the next match, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this match is. I forgot this match is even happening. But they did a great job of setting up the hot tag to Rhea and the roof coming off the arena when Rhea got the tag in. Kyrie saved the match for her team by tagging herself in the match, saving Asuka from an avalanche riptide. Rhea runs looking to boot Asuka off the apron when Kyrie pushes Asuka out of the way and takes the bullet. Rhea drags Kyrie back into the ring, hits her with the riptide, and puts Kyrie in position for over the moonsault for Io for the win. This match could have been in the death spot of the card, but worked its way to being a really good, really serviceable match. Good stuff. I gave it 3 3/4 flames out of 5.
I'm not surprised. I remember saying in the predictions thing that I expect this to be at least a good match because of everyone involved, and they did not disappoint me with the dramatics, especially with Kyrie, because she's pretty much been the MVP of this entire storyline.
Yep.
I get that she's not like the main focal point, but just her being the torn friend between friends has just been great. I don't think we've had enough people saying how good she's been. Like she really is the MVP, especially on Raw, where she really got it on Raw, which makes you feel even more for her and worse for Asuka. I mean, you heard the I heard the chants that they were they were directing towards Asuka after the show. Which it's so funny because to anybody outside of Australia that would have sounded like horrendous, but that's just Australia for you. That's just their way of saying they don't like somebody, I guess. But yeah, it didn't surprise me. This was a good match. Again, I if that would have been the tiebreaker, I would have probably said that Kyrie would have eaten the pin, even though I feel like that probably was going to be it anyway, because that would have just been more ammo for Asuka to be like, well, you're the weak link on this because you lost the match for us, which did she? Yes, technically, but also at the same time, she saved you from, dying, but Asuka doesn't see things that way, clearly. Right. Her morality's a little bit distorted at this point, but yeah, I'm excited to see this continue because I feel like this has probably consistently been the best storyline that they've been telling lately. So
yeah, I'm glad you see that. Yeah, I'm glad you see that because to me, it's my favorite story on all of WWE programming right now.
Yeah.
Is this story between Io Sky and the Kabuki Warriors, because it's a story that you can kind of, as I said on the predictions video, that is sort of relatable. We've all been that one person where we've had two, separate friends kind of going on different paths and we're kind of stuck in the middle.
Oh yeah.
I kind of feel like that's how this is relatable in that sense. Asuka's been great because Asuka's been kind of, every time she talks to Kyrie, the way she talks to her, it's just like it makes you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I feel very uncomfortable every time there's an Asuka Kyrie interaction, which I feel like is supposed to happen because of the way Asuka,
especially on Raw.
Yeah, on Raw. Watching Raw and watching it happen after she slapped her, after Kyrie was like, "Look at my face. Like, I took the bullet for you. Look at my face." Asuka slaps her, and I just went, "Jesus Christ." Like, like what more can this poor girl go through? It's kind of hard to tell which way they're going to. Like, is Kyrie gonna snap, or is she just gonna be complacent in the whole thing? It's gonna be very interesting to see which way they go.
Yeah, I feel like she's gonna snap, but in what way we're not entirely sure because you can see her either snapping and like taking it out on Asuka, or you could see her just having a full mental breakdown at this point and just taking it out on Io, which would suck, yes, but either way, I feel like it would be compelling regardless. So yeah, I'm definitely interested to see what happens with her. I'm interested to see if, Rhea still stays in the mix because everyone loves Rhea and Io together, understandably, because they have great chemistry together. So we'll probably be seeing more of this in the future, and I definitely can't complain, but I cannot wait to see a one-on-one match with Io and Asuka because it is just going to be so fucking good.
Yeah, it
like,
is.
People have been wanting this for such a long time with a meaningful story, and they're finally getting it. So the payoff on this, I hope, is just going to be fantastic.
Yeah, it really is. I really hope they put it on a big stage, like one of the big four pay-per-views. I think would be a great setting, and like it's so good to see the Japanese talent, and like I said this in all of wrestling, give us storylines for the women that don't involve titles. Give them stories outside of the title, competition, and fill up the gaps that way. So we can see what these women can do when they don't have to worry about a prize, even though they're getting more prizes because now there's the Women's Intercontinental Championship and the Women's US Championship, which is great. But also, not everybody can go for those titles. Those titles only
No.
have a certain number of slots. So to have this story here and it being one of the best stories on WWE TV right now says something.
Yeah, that should be a sign to keep doing it because the men can have feuds and storylines and whatever that don't involve titles. So you know what? The women should be able to do the same thing. And clearly they gave them that opportunity and they're rolling with it. It's just a matter if they're going to listen to it or not.
Definitely, for sure. Now, moving on, we have our main event of the evening. It is WWE Undisputed Champion Cody Rhodes taking on the World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins, and this one was for the Men's Crown Jewel Championship. This one started off as your run-of-the-mill main event from Cody Rhodes, and then it turned into an intense physical battle to see who could break their opponent first. Each man did everything they could to score the win, everything from Seth Rollins hitting a vertebreaker on Cody to Cody breaking out an avalanche crossroads. These men did all they could to get the job done. The conclusion of the match came with Rollins listening to the devil on his shoulder, telling him to use a weapon any way he can. Cody attempts a pedigree and Seth slides through his legs and into the corner. Seth grabs the Rolex gifted to him by Cody after WrestleMania 40. The referee gets knocked into the ropes, and while he tries to recover, Cody puts Seth in position for crossroads. Seth clocks Cody right in the chin with the hand wrapped in the watch, and Cody goes down. Seth follows a curb stomp with an avalanche curb stomp coming off the top rope and taking out Cody Rhodes. Seth gets the 3 count, and with no help from anyone, as Michael Cole puts it, Seth has exercised his demon in Cody Rhodes. Based on the flawless execution of this match with no hiccups, solid drama throughout, and breaking down into an all-out test of will, I will be generous and give this match a 4 out of 5 flames. One of Cody's better matches against an opponent who knows him better than anyone else.
Yeah, and I was not gonna lie, I was a little surprised Randy didn't show up because I've kind of been hinting at that here and there that he's gonna be coming after Cody's title, but I don't know if you've been seeing this too. I've been kind of seeing maybe not like a quick majority, but just like slowly I've been seeing people start to turn on Cody right now because he's not really defending the title. He's kind of going MIA for I'm assuming the movie purposes and whatnot, which yeah, it gets a little annoying. I mean, you can't really call one person out, like we'll just say Rowan. You can't really not call him out or call him out and then say it's okay because it's Cody. It's all kind of just annoying. It's like, yeah, I get that it's movies and it's bigger stuff outside of wrestling, but it also directly affects wrestling when it comes to like the storylines and these title reigns and these matches. So I understand it, but yeah, I was a little surprised Randy didn't show up, but in a way, in hindsight, he didn't need to because, like you said, Seth needed to exercise that demon because then the same thing that happened with Roman would have been the same thing that happened with him, where, oh, you can't win anything big anymore because you have to have the vision behind you. So are you really that good or are you just, insecure? So good for Seth for exercising the demons. Thank God that wasn't the tiebreaker we could have used because that would have been horribly wrong for me at least. But yeah, it looked like a good match. I mean, I feel like the right person did win because I don't know, Cody winning 2 years in a row just wouldn't have felt right.
Right.
I don't think. It's just he doesn't need it right now. And I mean, again, Seth needed it, and then lo and behold, look what happens on Raw because everything goes horribly wrong once
Well,
we get to Raw.
I wanted to bring that up on Monday Night Raw. We saw, I guess, the disillusion of the Vision and the Vision turning on Seth Rollins and ending that partnership. Now, there's 2 things I want to talk about. Why that happened, both both in storyline sense, but also in real life sense. They say Seth might have hurt himself when he went for a coast to coast head drop and kind of maybe separated his shoulder or jammed his shoulder.
Yeah.
He was wearing a sling after Crown Jewel Perth, and he might be injured. So I think to do something like this where they had the turn of Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed on Seth Rollins, it must be a serious injury.
Yeah, and I think I saw too before I came on here that they already pulled him off the I think the Japan matches he was supposed to
Mm,
be on. So yeah, I don't think it's looking too great because
jeez.
yeah, which is a shame because it's just he's not been very lucky with the injuries over the course of his career, but yeah, it was just it seemed at the time obviously very sudden because we're like, okay, well, what are we doing? Because we didn't think it was gonna happen. I mean, we knew it was inevitably gonna happen. We just didn't think it was gonna be that quick. But the good thing is that both Braun and Bronson have proven how good they can be in the main event spotlight. That it's not gonna really feel out of place. Where it's like, why the hell would they turn on him? Because they're just like mid card guys. They need him. It's like, no, they really don't. They're pretty good together as just a team or separate. And then you got Heyman with them or backing them up. So I think they're in a good spot. It's just, yeah, it's a shame it had to happen because Seth got hurt again, but that is the wrestling business, unfortunately.
Yes, that is unfortunately. The show goes off the air with Stephanie Rollins, Seth Rollins, and Stephanie Vaquer, the two Crown Jewel champions, standing tall in the ring as Pyro goes off. Now, just my final thoughts on the show. I see no reason as to why this doesn't end up being a well-received PLE by all who watch. Definitely better than WrestlePalooza. Every single
Yeah.
match had sort of a "would you look at that" moment, and all of the matches kept you glued in throughout. I had no reason to scroll through my phone, not one time. I would tell anyone asking that they have to go out of their way to see Cena versus Styles if they call themselves a wrestling fan. Great, active, excited crowd led to a wonderful show, and I gave it a final grade of A flat. A flat,
Nice.
just a good show. Definitely better than WrestlePalooza. I don't know what ESPN graded Crown Jewel this time, but
I think a B.
really, I
Yeah, I
th-
think I believe a B.
this was a really good show. Just really good wrestling. A
Yeah.
lot of good wrestling on the show, and just solid, sensible things that were happening. They followed all of the logics. They didn't try to do anything crazy. So I thought this was a great show.
Yeah, that's good. It was definitely they needed to. I feel like it was kind of I'm not saying like dramatically it was a do or die kind of show, but
Mm,
after the stinker they kind of put on with WrestlePalooza, they kind of had to do something good or else coming out of the gate in the ESPN era with two subpar below average pay-per-views would not have been a good look. So, I'm glad they were able to kind of bring it back up to what it should be because it's funny what happens when you just do have good wrestling in matches. It's just a wild concept that a good wrestling pay-per-view consisted of good wrestling. Who would have thought?
yeah, that's all they really needed was good wrestling, good storytelling in the ring. I think the storytelling for Crown Jewel Perth was at an all-time high. Just really great stuff from all the competitors involved.
Good, good. So I'm
Yes,
glad it wasn't a total waste of time like the last one. So that helps.
definitely not. But now, by the way, that was our Crown Jewel. Just let me go through the what you call it, the flame
Flames.
ratings one more time. Roman Reigns, Bronson Reed, 3 3/4 out of 5. Stephanie Vaquer and Tiffany Stratton, 3 3/4 out of 5. AJ Styles and John Cena, 4.5 out of 5. Kabuki Warriors and Rhea versus Io, 3 3/4 out of 5. Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, I gave it a 4 out of 5, and the final grade for the show was an A. So I thought this was a great show, and I'm what the next one I believe there's another Crown Jewel show in November, the beginning of November, if I'm not correct, if I'm not mistaken.
Of course there is, because why wouldn't there be? I mean, why not, right? I feel like well, let me pull it up here. We can do the live reporting right now.
Yeah, I
Um,
think it's, I want to say the second, November
it
2nd.
is. Why is this not coming up? Um, It's taking its time. Well, they have a Saturday night's main event on November 1st, and then November 29th, Survivor Series
Okay.
in San Diego.
Okay, so maybe I was wrong. Maybe I had the wrong information. I thought they were doing another Crown Jewel show in November, but thankfully they are not. We are getting
Yeah.
Saturday night's main event. And then War Games is going to be cool because it's going to be in Petco Park in San Diego. So they're really going to fill out that place. And then we're going to hear, oh, we broke another record, all
Sure.
this other good stuff.
Well, if they do, let's not guarantee it.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Petco Park is a pretty big park. It's where the San Diego Padres play baseball. It's a beautiful park. So it's going to be really cool to see what it's like in a wrestling setting.
Yeah, I mean, every time they do like the baseball stadiums, it translates well. So I'm not gonna be surprised if they sell a lot of tickets, but we'll just wait and see.
I'm waiting for that one day we get a WWE event in Yankee Stadium.
I know you're gonna be the first one to buy tickets.
You know it. You know it. I can't wait for it to happen. Let's see it happen.
I feel like
Triple H.
they have to do it at some point because I mean, if anybody's gonna be selling it, it's gonna be Damien of all people. So you never know. Could happen.
Needs to happen. It needs to happen. But anyway, coming up this Saturday is a pay-per-view from All Elite Wrestling. We're talking about All Elite Wrestling presents WrestleDream on pay-per-view. I'm strangely excited for this show. I've been a little bit laxed on my AEW viewing because the shows have been on different days that they're usually on.
Yeah.
Dynamite was on Tuesday this past week, which I didn't get to watch, but like the collision shows, and I just been a little bit behind. But the thing about AEW is you can be behind on AEW and you really don't miss a thing.
I know, which that's not really a good thing, but I mean, it still seems like it's going to be a good card though. From what I'm looking at right here, it's not terrible. Should be good. Hopefully they don't fuck it up, but you never know with AEW because you expect it to be a good show and it's not, or you don't think it is and it is. So I don't know.
Well,
I don't know what it is.
But I believe because we're recording it is Tuesday evening. This is Wednesday when you're listening to it. So hopefully I think later the Dynamite episode is going to be a 3-hour episode of Dynamite. So yay me.
Yeah, which means there's going to be probably 2 or 3 more matches to get put on this card, but we're safe because we don't get to cover those because they don't exist yet. So
well, we have 8 matches here to cover. Like I said, a lot of good ones to really enjoy. I think there's going to be some great wrestling. I'm being cautiously optimistic with this AEW WrestleDream show.
Yeah, there's maybe 1 or 2 matches because we always say when it comes to an AEW pay-per-view, there's at least 1 or 2 matches where we're like, why is this on a pay-per-view card? This could easily be a main event of a Dynamite. It could be a main event of a Collision. But somehow, some way, those kind of matches just always seem to find their way onto the card. So, well, we figured it was only fair that since Erik had to do the heavy lifting for Crown Jewel, I would take over the quarterbacking duties of the WrestleDream cards. So let's get this right up here. Alrighty. So you ready for predictions? You're gonna try again. I mean, Crown Jewel didn't work out so well for you, so
yeah, I'm on a losing streak.
And I will gladly take that winning streak and not complain about it at all. But all right, so I think we decided we were just gonna go from bottom to top on this. All right, so we're gonna start off with a trios match that not entirely sure why we're getting this one again, but we are, whether we like it or not, and that is the Hurt Syndicate. So you got Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and MVP taking on the Demand, Ricochet, Bishop Khan, and Toa Leona. Why do we get to see this again on a pay-per-view?
Right, and didn't they just have a trios match on Dynamite?
I believe they did, yeah. And see, and the problem is that if they would have had a tear the house down kind of match at All Out, because it's the same exact match we saw at All Out. If the match was I don't want to say good because it wasn't terrible. It was just like average. So it's like if it would have been an above average or a good match, okay, I could have seen them running it back. But it wasn't that great of a match the first time. Like I remember us saying, why is this on the card? Because this is just not a pay-per-view caliber match. At least we don't think it is. And for whatever reason, Tony Khan seemed to disagree on that one because we're getting it again, whether we like it or not. And it's just like, I'll be honest, I'm not really excited for this match
Right.
because it's just, we've seen it before. And unless they can kick it into full gear for this one, no pun intended, but it's just like, if they can actually make me eat my words and care about this match, then great. But I just don't see it happening. In terms of who's gonna win, I don't know. I guess we could just say the Hurt Syndicate because the man got the win last time, so maybe just get one up on him. But it kind of doesn't really matter who wins, at least to me, because it's just like, this is just a thing that's happening, and that's it.
Yeah, this is one of the ones, like you said, there are a couple matches on the card that you look at and go, man, that's probably better suited on AEW TV programming rather than being on a pay-per-view. And I feel like this match, this rivalry kind of encompasses that. I like the Hurt Syndicate, really don't care for the Demand.
No.
But I do like the Hurt Syndicate. The only thing is, whenever the Hurt Syndicate is involved in something, whatever they're involved in, they usually outshine their opponents. I feel like all the star power is in the Hurt Syndicate, and it really dumbs down the shine of whoever their opponents are. They really can't match up the coolness of the Hurt Syndicate. So that kind of is where there's like a disconnect, you know?
Yeah.
As far as who wins,
Doesn't matter.
it really doesn't matter because there's no trios championship on the line or nothing like that. This is just a regular run of the mill trios match, so there's really no consequence to losing. So with that in mind, I am also going to be I'm going to say the safe bet and go with the Hurt Syndicate.
All right, so we both got the Hurt Syndicate on that one, and I guarantee you next week when we talk about this, we are once again going to say, why was this on the card? So maybe they'll prove us wrong. I highly doubt it. But anyways, so moving on, we got a singles match in the women's division, which I am excited about because I'll get into it in a minute, but we have Jamie Hayter taking on Tekla. Now, these two have been at each other's throats for quite a bit now because of the Triangle of Madness, just fucking everybody's like shit up.
Yeah.
And so this one was just a matter of time. I'm excited because these are both heavy hitters. So this one is going to hurt in a good way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just excited because we literally just talked about it when we were talking about Crown Jewel of we need storylines with the women's division, no matter what company they're in. We need non-title centric storylines. And boy, has AEW been giving us that for what seems like most of the year, it feels like, because it just keeps going on and on. But it's pretty much involving some combination of Triangle of Madness and Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford and Ty J and Jamie and Queen Aminata, and then I think Thunder Rosa was in there at some point, and then it was Stat and Willow and Harley. So it's like you had a good portion of the division in this storyline for quite a while, and now we're finally getting blood and guts out of it. I think next month. I think it's the middle of November, if I remember correctly. So this is pretty much just like a appetizer to the absolute car crash we're going to see in November. So I am fully excited for this one. As far as who wins, though, this one's a little tough for me because I feel like you can kind of see it going both ways because I feel like either one of them losing isn't going to necessarily hurt them, but it's also a matter of who needs it more.
Right.
Because on one hand, you got Jamie, who she's been back for a little bit, was involved in the title match at All Out. Obviously, didn't go her way. She wasn't involved because her and Tekla were too busy trying to kill each other. So Tekla, same thing with her. So those two have been kind of not doing so hot in the title department lately. However, like I said, this is tough. It's very tough because I could see either one of them winning. Hmm. I think, at least for this one, I think I'm going to give it to Jamie because I feel like they're going to use that as more of a build up into War Games War Games, Jesus, Blood and Guts. I don't want to get yelled at by the WWE faithful, whatever, but yeah, I feel like if Jamie wins this one, then surely Tekla and the Triangle of Madness is not going to take too kindly to that. So I feel like that's going to further ramp up the tensions, I think, between them. I feel like you could say it either way. If like Tekla would win, it'd be kind of the same. It would just be, I feel like it's a little more impactful when you have the bad guys continuously trying to make the good guys' life a living hell,
Right.
especially after they win. So I feel like that is a little bit more compelling going into Blood and Guts. So I think for this one, I'm just going to give it to Jamie. But honestly, if Tekla would win, I wouldn't be upset either because I've been becoming a very big fan of hers. I really like what she's been doing in AEW, but going to give this one to Jamie.
All right. Yeah, like you said, this is kind of tough to figure out who to pick for a winner because both of them are kind of even, both in terms of a physical sense, where they're at in their careers in AEW. Both of them are kind of dead even. The only thing is that Tekla, despite this being a run-of-the-mill singles match, disqualifications and everything, she still has the Triangle of Madness in her corner. Which even if they don't get disqualified, they could still pay dividends being on the outside of the ring, maybe causing a ruckus, maybe causing Jamie Hayter to lose her focus. Jamie Hayter isn't necessarily a lone wolf, but she doesn't really have anybody in her corner, kind of like the way Tekla has the Triangle of Madness. I mean, you can kind of call on maybe Queen Aminata.
Yeah.
Maybe, or Ty J.
Maybe Ty J.
Yeah, Ty J or something like that.
Yeah, I feel like it almost is like we're not friends, we're just like the enemy of my enemy is my friend,
Right.
essentially. So whereas kind of like what you're saying, the Triangle of Madness is more of like an actual like team, an actual like group.
Right.
And everybody else is kind of just like, yeah, we're not really like friends or anything, but we can't really stand those three, so we just kind of have to band together. So it's a very interesting dynamic. I could see at the very least Queen Aminata coming out, like you said, maybe Ty J. I just feel like if Julia and Sky come out during this match, there has to be some sort of even in the odds because it would really not make sense not to, because I feel like you can't really have Jamie helping out them and then not returning the favor.
Right.
So I feel like they got to show up. It's just a matter of who's showing up and when. And that is if they even show up. For all we know, Tekla might tell them, I want to do this on my own. We don't know because, again, we're not in the future yet. But yeah, like I said, I'm still going to give it to Jamie just for storyline purposes. I feel like it'll be a little more compelling going into War Games. Or why do I keep saying War Games? I don't know. Because I think War Games is...
It is technically War Games. Yeah, it is technically War Games.
Blood and Guts.
Blood and Guts. But I think this is where we won't have to worry about a tiebreaker because I am going with Tekla to get the win.
I mean, I wouldn't complain. I mean, I would complain because I'd lose my title, but I wouldn't complain if Tekla won because, like I said, I've become a very big fan of hers. But
yeah, she's got that cool swagger about her.
Oh yeah. Like it's just craziness, but in like a cool way. It's
right.
Just, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Tekla. I think just because she has a solidified backing in her corner that can cause a disruption. Maybe with the referee distracted, might get Jamie Hayter off her game a little bit. Jamie Hayter, she has a lot of allies, but will her allies come through for her is the main question. So I think Tekla has this one in the bag for sure.
All right. Well, we'll see. Like I said, we're only 2 matches in. We don't even need the tiebreaker. Two shows in a row, actually, that we don't need the tiebreaker. What the hell's going on?
The tide is changing.
This is weird. I don't know if I like it, but anyways, so now we're gonna move on to a tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. We have the champions Bandito and Brody King taking on the Don Callis family, more specifically, since there's about 20 of them, Kazuchika Okada and Konosuke Takeshita, which that is a heck of a team, to say the least. This one's kind of a little iffy because we don't know how serious Bandito's shoulder injury was, because didn't he pop his shoulder out when he was facing,
like that,
was it Hechicero, I believe? No, that's not about right. They had I don't even remember what pay-per-view it was or what show it was, but I do remember Bandito separating his shoulders, so that's usually, I mean, it's not I don't want to say it's not a serious injury, because popping your shoulder out is pretty serious. It's just a matter of, is he going to miss time, or is going to need to miss time to rehab that? So, it's kind of tough. But does the Don Callis family need any more gold, though? Because they're already picking up a bunch of people, but it's also just I don't know about this one. This one's kind of, because it's not even so much the match itself that has me on the fence. It's the outside factors that are kind of playing into it a little bit. Maybe, for all we know, they might not be, but all we can do is sit and speculate. Fuck. I just don't see why they'd have to give the Don Callis family another set of gold, though, because they got quite a few already.
They got the TNT Championship, the AEW Unified Championship, which has 3 belts attached to it. You know?
Yeah, exactly. So it's this is. I feel unfortunately, too, this one's kind of a. I'm not going to say I'm not sold on it, but I'm not super excited for it, which is a shame because we love Brody and Takeshi's great, but it's also just kind of this one's, I think, still a pay-per-view caliber match. And I wouldn't say that this one's oh my god, it has to be a Dynamite main event or something, but it's just right on the edge of, I guess we'll put you in the pay-per-view card. Why not? Yeah, screw it. I'm just gonna say Brodito's gonna retain, because I just don't see why the Don Callis family needs any more titles, especially with Okada, because he already has 50 on one belt anyway, so it'd be kind of silly. But I think I'm just kind of waiting for Takeshi to just break out and do his own thing. But at this rate, I feel we're gonna be waiting forever, because they could have done that 50 times by now, but they're just not.
Right.
But yeah, I'll just say, for the sake of not wanting to be here all night, I'll just say Brodito retains.
Interesting. I can see this going either way. I can see Brodito retaining, but I can also see Okada and Takeshita winning the titles despite them not on the same page. And you also have to bring into account that now Takeshita is the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, a belt that is pretty much synonymous with Okada, and Okada being the legend that he is in Japan. Now that title that he once held and put in such prominence now belongs to Konosuke Takeshita.
And he's probably not going to like that.
He's not. Yeah, exactly. He's not going to like that. I do find it interesting is how can they coexist as a tag team if now they have to worry about defending the AEW Tag Team Championships. It's kind of that old thing they do in wrestling sometimes where they have two opponents suddenly become tag team champions and now they have to coexist with each other. We've been seeing them having to coexist because they're simply in the Don Callis family together, but at first I wanted to go the Don Callis family because I wanted that sort of
Drama.
that drama of having the tag team titles and that being your tag team partner, but you don't even like your tag team partner. To now, I want there to be a reason for maybe, like you said, Takeshita to break out on his own away from the Don Callis family, and this could be the starting point for that, where they don't get the job done and they don't beat Brodito, and now it's a lot of finger pointing as to who is the reason why they didn't win.
I feel like that's more compelling than the whole, oh, we're tag champs, we just don't like each other. It's like, I feel like if you lose, it's a little more compelling that way, because then it's like, okay, well, I could have won if I was with somebody I actually liked, but I had to be there with your loser ass, and now we didn't win. So it's like, I can blame you, and the other's going to blame the other one. And I think that's a little more compelling than just, oh, we don't like each other, and we won the title, so I guess we'll just do them, I guess.
Yeah, so with that said, I'm probably going to chalk it up and give it to Brodito as well for the win and to retain the AEW World Tag Team Championships.
All right, so pretty much in agreement except for the one, but that's okay. We can save the tiebreakers for another day, I suppose. All right, so we're gonna keep it somewhat in the Don Callis family, and for the next match is for the AEW TNT Championship. We have champion Kyle Fletcher defending his belt against Mark Briscoe. This one, I feel like this is one of those kind of on the fence, like, pay-per-view matches for me. And it's a shame because Kyle's great, and we know, we love Kyle. He's fantastic, but I don't know. I mean, I like Briscoe, don't get me wrong, but it's always just kind of like, yeah, he's there. He's pretty good, but can never really see him winning anything, which is a shame, but that's just kind of how it is, at least for me, I guess. But I feel like this one's a pretty self-explanatory, though. I don't think Kyle's losing that title anytime soon, so this one's a pretty easy choice and doesn't really need a whole lot of explanation. Kyle's not losing that belt.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm also gonna put my my name in the hat for Kyle Fletcher. I think it's gonna be a great match. I think Mark Briscoe really showed a lot going up against MJF in his last match that he can have a great pay-per-view match with anybody, and I think Kyle Fletcher is someone who can have great matches with just about anybody. So I think this is gonna be a great back and forth contest, and we're really gonna be surprised at the end of the night. But I do think Kyle Fletcher is going to retain the TNT Championship.
Yeah, that is one of, I think, a couple of the pretty easiest choices of the night of who's winning. So we both got Kyle Fletcher on that one. Pretty easy there. So now we move on to this stipulation has been popping up so much in AEW right now, and it's almost just like this is just a new crutch for Tony. So this is a tag team match where the winners receive a $500,000 cash prize for whatever reason. And that is the Jurassic Express, Jack Perry and Luchasaurus finally reuniting to take on the Young Bucks. What is with these money matches? Like, it used to be every so often, but now it's just becoming very consistent.
Like one every other week.
Really, it seems like it, and for the most part, it has literally nothing to do with anything. It's just
in the way the Young Bucks have been broke, and then they had cash, and now they're broke again. So now they need another reason to go after some cash.
I guess. I mean, I think it's not so much the fact for like this match specifically, it's just the frequencies we've been seeing.
Yeah, no,
Like
yeah.
hell, there was even one of these when they were in Philly and it was one of the women's multi-women matches. So it's just like that had nothing to do with anything. Like they just did that just because they felt like it that day, I guess.
Right.
But this one at least has somewhat of a reasoning. It's just like, good God, can we like give this one a break for fuck's sake? But this one though, I feel like you can't have Jurassic Express lose right off the bat. I just don't think you can. Like, this is a big deal. We haven't seen them wrestle as a team in quite a while, so it'll be interesting to see what the new chemistry is. Like, how are they both the same but also different? Because it's been how many years? At least 4, maybe, give or take. Maybe a little more, a little less.
Yeah.
But either way, you just can't have them lose. Like this is just like right off the bat, you have to like reestablish them as a team. And I don't think you do that by having them lose, even if like the Young Bucks cheat or something. I don't think that's going to be one of those scenarios where, oh, well, they got cheated out of that match, but they did their best. It's like, no, you have to have them win. Like just straight up, you got to have them win. So I'm going with Jurassic Express on this one. They're going to be $500,000 richer, apparently, because why not? I
There
wish
you
it was that
go.
easy. If I just did something at my job and I got $500,000, like that'd be great. But I'm in the wrong profession, clearly.
I
But
guess, yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna throw in the name Jurassic Express to get the win as well. Just because it kind of just makes more sense for them to pick up the win, and you want to establish a new tag team in the division as a threat, and the Jurassic Express would be a great fit for that. We already know the Young Bucks can have tag team matches against just about anybody, so they'll be fine. I don't feel like a loss is gonna hurt the Young Bucks really, but it can definitely do a lot to change the what's the word I'm looking for? The
Perception.
perception, that's the word I was looking for. It'll definitely change the perception of what the Jurassic Express is in this iteration, because now you want them to look stronger than what they used to look, you know?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
wanna see something different, maybe a little bit more aggression. I think that's what we're
Yeah.
seeing, because Jack Perry still hasn't abandoned his kind of evil ways.
No.
He still kind of has those heel tendencies. So, there's a little bit different about the Jurassic Express, but you want to establish them as a serious threat to the tag team division, so that way you can build up another tag team and have that sort of where you can go different ways. It doesn't have to always be the same thing. So I also am going to be going for Jurassic Express in this match to get the win over the Young Bucks.
All right, still keeping the streak going. I mean, it just kills me that this is 2 shows in a row that we've differed on at least one, which is whatever, it's fine. All right, so now we have another match that I'm really looking forward to for obvious reasons. It is for the AEW Women's World Championship, where Stat Daddy Chris Statlander puts her title on the line against Timeless Tony Storm, and oh boy, have these two been going at it the last few weeks. We're kind of starting to see when Tony lost the title originally, she kind of started going a little insane. This is just completely unhinged at this version of Timeless Tony Storm. Like, these two just, like, cannot stay away from each other. Tony's just losing her shit. Stat's just trying to be the champion. I'm enjoying it. This is wild, and this match is going to be great. Like, I'm not going to be surprised because Tony's great, and I feel like I'm excited to see Stat get the chance to have this match one-on-one where there's no distractions, kind of like that whole storyline they were going into with the Fatal 4-Way of, well, she's too preoccupied by other things, whatever. Oh, she just won because it was a fluke. Oh, she had to use Wheeler Yuta's move. It's like, okay, well, there's none of that in this match. It's just her and Tony and that title, and we've seen Stat rise to the occasion before. Just look at her matches with Mercedes Moné. She is more than capable of having a main event caliber match because it's Stat. I think a lot of people have been sleeping on her in the past few years or so, so I'm glad that we're finally coming around to the fact that, oh, hey, she's actually really good. Go fucking figure. Some of us have known that for quite a while, but with that said, though, Stat's not losing this title. Like, it just doesn't make any sense for them to kind of play a little bit of hot potato with the title, even if it is Tony. I know it's very tempting to just put it back on Tony because, oh, she's always so good and everybody loves it when she's champion. But as we've said before, she's so good to the point that she doesn't need the title to be compelling. I mean, just look at the stuff she's been doing. She's completely off the rails right now, and it's still hilarious to see. And you don't even care that she doesn't have the titles. So I say they're going to have a great match. Like I said, this is probably one of, if not the match I'm looking the most forward to on the card. But as far as the outcome goes, Stat's not losing that title. She's holding on to that title for, I hope, a little while. But eventually she'll lose that title, but WrestleDream is not going to be that day.
Yeah, I honestly think this is going to be one of the matches that's going to have people talking at the end of the night. Just being a good wrestling match between both these women, because both these women have the skills to get it done. And what's good about Chris Statlander and Toni Storm is that they both can adapt to their opponents very well. So it's going to be interesting to see how they adapt to each other in a one-on-one setting, because last time they took on each other was in a Fatal 4 setting. So this is going to be, like you said, very interesting to see them take on each other. And I too am never a fan of playing hot potato with a championship title in wrestling. I've never liked it. I've always been a fan of people having long, substantial reigns, and I feel like this would help Statlander to have a long, substantial reign. Because I feel like when she won the title and Toni Storm lost, like, everybody was surprised that Toni Storm ended up losing the title, but they didn't really object to the fact that Statlander had the title. Because everybody's been wanting to see Statlander be the champion for a while, so they were like, well, this is not so bad. So I think they really want to see what is going to happen between Timeless Toni Storm and Chris Statlander, but they also want to see what's going to happen with Chris Statlander having a long title reign. Much like I said about Tiffany Stratton earlier, if we see more Chris Statlander matches for the title, I think that's only going to benefit not only Statlander, but also benefit the lineage of the title, to show that it's a fighting champion title. So I'm definitely interested in seeing that. Being that I'm not a fan of hot potato booking with titles, I am also going to be picking Chris Statlander to come away with the victory of this one.
All right, we both got Stat, and there's no surprise on that one. Like I said, I'm definitely looking forward to that one. I'm sure that will be one of the top matches of the night for sure. All right, so now I'm assuming this is going to be like a co-main event because I do like doing that. So we'll just go with the first one I see. So this co-main event will be for the AEW World Championship. We'll have champion Hangman Adam Page defending the title against Samoa Joe. This one's gonna hurt a little bit. This one is gonna be a little physical, to say the least. It was kind of out of nowhere because I feel like they kind of had that little interaction. Samoa Joe got a little pissy, and then that whole backstage promos both of them cut were just like, oh, okay, now this is really gonna be fun. On top of the fact of Hangman's never beaten Samoa Joe, so but also at the same time, do we really think Hangman's going to lose the title here? I don't think so. That's just getting that out of the way right away. Hangman's holding on to that title, again, for quite a while, but that doesn't mean Samoa Joe's going to give him a fight, because boy, are they going to get into a fight at WrestleDream. This one's going to be, like I said, physical. It's going to hurt a lot, but it's going to be very entertaining. I'm definitely excited for this one as well, but Hangman's holding on to that title. That one's another easy pick for me.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you there. I think this is an easy pick. I also am choosing Hangman to continue to be the AEW World Champion after this match is done. I'm just looking forward to it to being a great wrestling match. Like you said, it kind of came out of nowhere. Like it was,
Yeah.
and it was kind of an interesting way to. All right, well, if that's how you guys want to be opponents, we're gonna start you off as opponents that way. Just a slight miscommunication of respect in the eyes of Samoa Joe, who takes
Yeah.
respect very seriously. So this is going to be a fun match, but this is going to be another notch in the belt for Hangman Adam Page to have another great opponent, so that way he can have another great match in his title reign. But I think Hangman Page is going to come away with the victory here.
Yes, I agree. All right. So we are now down to what we think is most likely going to be the actual main event of the night. And I don't know about you, this one's probably going to be the hardest one to predict, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the I Quit match between Darby Allin and Jon Moxley. But before we even get into the predictions, this is not going to be for the faint of heart. And that's not even an exaggeration. That's not us being dramatic. That's not us building up the match. It's just when you have somebody like Darby Allin going against someone like Jon Moxley in, of all things, an I Quit match, you pretty much just told them, do whatever the fuck you want to us. We don't care. So there's going to probably be blood. There's going to be carnage. There's probably going to be several spots in this match that I'm not going to want to watch because it's going to make me sick. But that's just because of who's involved in this match. So it's tough because you could definitely see either one of them winning because for somebody like Darby, it's going to take a lot to get him to say I quit.
Right.
You pretty much would have to put him on death's door to get him to say I quit, and even then I don't think he would even say it. However, all of that can also be said for Moxley. It's going to take a whole lot to get either one of these two to quit, and that's the part that's exciting but also very scary at the same time, because what lengths are these two going to have to go to get one of them to say I quit? And it makes me a little squeamish just thinking about it, not gonna lie, because just it's not even so much of, oh well, we're definitely gonna get the thumbtacks, oh we're definitely gonna get glass, oh we're definitely gonna get blood. It's like, we're definitely gonna get blood. That's almost a guarantee. The scary part is we have no idea what else can be thrown in here. Sure, will we probably get thumbtacks, maybe, whatever, but that also doesn't mean they're gonna find other ways to just make the crowd go, what the fuck is going on? So I'm excited, a little nervous, a little scared, not gonna lie. As far as the winner though, I feel like you almost have to boil it down to who, I wouldn't even say benefits more from the win. It's almost just like who can't afford to lose, I guess. Which at that point you're pretty much splitting hairs. If we have to get down to the, oh well, who it couldn't take a loss here, or who's losing is going to hurt more. I feel like, well, and the other part is that if this was just a street fight, it might have been a little bit easier, but I think the fact of throwing the I quit stipulation into it kind of turns things on its head, because I quit matches can mean a lot of things. That can mean going away for quite a while. I doubt it would mean actually quitting the company, period, but that pretty much means if you're in an I quit match, you're most likely going to be gone at least a little bit.
Right.
At least had what we've seen in previous encounters when it comes to I quit matches. So if you boil it down to that, surely you'd have to give it to Darby, because the dude just came back not too long ago from being gone for a very long time, climbing Mount Everest and whatever. And maybe Moxley could take a break. I feel like the guy needs a bit of a break. And I feel like we've seen that he is one of those guys where he's not going to do it. You kind of have to tell him to take a break. So I think with that being said, and just the fact of Darby is still relatively new to coming back, I feel like you have to give it to Darby. It just wouldn't make sense to have him say I quit and then have him be gone for months on end again, it just wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah, I my reasoning for this match is I just don't see how you can get a person like Darby Allin to quit anything.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
especially based on pain, because that's how this goes. It's like
Yeah.
when you say I quit in this match, it's because you can't take anymore. But we've never
Yeah.
seen every time we think we've seen the height of Darby Allin's pain threshold, he surpasses that by a mile.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I just seriously, I don't think that there's anything that Jon Moxley could do that is going to make Darby Allin say I quit. He is literally, unequivocally, I am not joking, he's probably going to have to kill Darby Allin to get Darby Allin to say I quit.
Yeah, and I think it's a good point that you make up with that, because that's pretty much why Moxley wanted this match in the first place, was that I'm going to have to do unspeakable things to you just to get you to go away. Except that's just the thing. I don't think Darby's going to go away, because sure, if you wanted a big shock factor to end your show, you could have Darby say I quit. However, in the long run, that is going to be a horrible idea, because you pretty much at that point just break the facade of Darby Allin.
Right, you break the mystique.
Exactly, and you can't do that. We've already kind of broken the facade of Jon Moxley when he lost the title, because how quickly did he end up tapping, because he was panicking at the end of that match.
Right.
So he clearly has a threshold. It's just a matter of, can Darby get him there without the rest of the Death Riders getting to him first? Because that's essentially what this is going to be. You know they're going to show up, because it's in a holds barred. It's just given that those guys are going to show up, but it's a matter of, is anybody going to show up for Darby? Because most of his allies are MIA right now. Injury reasons, obviously. But yeah, it's just, you can't break the mystique of Darby Allin in this match, no matter how, because that's the thing, you and I both know, in the creative writing room, that thought crossed Tony's mind at least once. You know it did, because that's just his thing, is sometimes he likes to buy into the shock factor, but he only sees the shock factor as that instant gratification, but doesn't think it through long-term story-wise. We've seen it happen time and time again, and this is one of those where you absolutely cannot have that happen for the sake of shock factor, because it would just destroy so many other things other than just Darby Allin. You can't do it. You just can't do it. You have to have Darby win this match. Plain and simple. It's just, I am terrified to see how we're going to get there, because it just gives me the chills just thinking about it, because you just know it's going to be something horrifying and horrific. And yeah, we might see stuff we've already seen before, but it's just a matter of what else are they going to do that we haven't seen before. And that's the thought that scares me, because the thought process of those two put together is psychotic, to say the least.
Exactly. But it's definitely going to make for an interesting show. I think we're going to be talking about that I Quit match. Not only are we going to be talking about it on the podcast, but just talking about it in general. It's going to be quite something to see, because, again, Darby Allin, his pain threshold is more than I've ever seen anybody on the planet. Yeah, he does. You know, there's no... I don't think you can get him to say I quit. I just don't think it can happen.
I don't think so. I mean, I feel like the only way you could do it is if you touch on his heartstrings or something, but even then...
But that's so hard, because he's such a mysterious character. We really don't know anything outside of, he almost died in a car accident with his drunk uncle. You know?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing they could do is bring Sting back, maybe, because that's the one person he had an attachment to in AEW. But again, bring Sting back just to have Darby say I quit still doesn't make it okay. Right. So I think just let Moxley say I quit, so he can take his job mandated vacation for a little bit and move on.
Man, that's going to be a fascinating match to watch.
In more ways than one, unfortunately.
For sure, for sure.
Fortunately, but also unfortunately, because someone's gonna get squeamish. It's just a matter of which one of us is gonna get squeamish first.
Yeah. Well, just to run down the predictions really quickly, both you and I think the Hurt Syndicate are going to come away with their victory against the Demand. I think Tekla is going to win, while you think Jamie Hayter is going to get the victory over the other. We both think Brodito are going to retain the tag team championships. We both think Kyle Fletcher is going to retain the TNT championship. And we think Jurassic Express is going to defeat the Young Bucks. Chris Statlander is going to defeat Tony Storm and retain the AEW Women's Championship. Hangman Page is going to defeat Samoa Joe and retain the AEW Men's Championship. And Darby Allin is going to be the one to get Jon Moxley to say, "I quit." So those are our predictions for AEW WrestleDream. That is happening this Saturday on pay-per-view, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully you guys are going to be watching the show. It should be a good one.
Yeah, like I said, I'm excited for this one. Just that I quit match is haunting me already, and but I'll be watching, maybe
Yeah.
with one eye closed, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. Can't wait. So I guess that's it. We basically done everything we set out to do and talk about in this episode. So goodbye. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, bye.
Just kidding, everybody. We're not gonna do you like that. We have to let you know the particulars and such as like where you can find this podcast. This podcast is all available on all podcast platforms. All you have to do is just search Ringside Rundown and hit the follow or subscribe button, whatever the platform asks of you. It's available on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, basically wherever you listen to podcasts, it should be on there. Like I said, just hit the follow or subscribe button and you'll never miss an episode of the Ringside Rundown podcast. It's also available on YouTube. Check it out on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@ringsiderunpod. There is all the episodes of the Ringside Rundown podcast, plus all of our short form highlights of live streams that I do throughout the week watching wrestling programming. Yes, I do live watch alongs on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday for Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, AEW Dynamite, and AEW Collision. Come check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/ringside rundown. If you want to join in on the fun and have a good time with us, it's always a good time. So come check us out on Twitch. Shay, where can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, on my wrestling Twitter, at @ShayRingside_. It's just like Eric's username, but mine instead. If you want to see my wrestling opinions.
There you go. There you have it. Go follow her. She's a great follower on Twitter and keep up with her wrestling musings. Our next episode is going to be, gosh, I don't even know what number episode this is. We've done so many.
I don't even know.
We've done so many that I've forgotten what. Let me check so I can get my memory right, because this is so crazy. This is episode 177 that we're gonna be bringing to you. So we're inching ever so closely to episode 200. This is episode 177. Man, we've been doing this for a while.
It's been a minute, yeah. It feels like just like yesterday, but also 3 years ago.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude tonight's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. You got our thoughts on WWE Crown Jewel Perth and also our predictions for AEW WrestleDream. When our next episode drops, it's going to be us covering AEW WrestleDream and talking about anything else that is happening in the world of professional wrestling. If you would like to contribute to that, make sure you hit us up on social media, Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook at Ringside Rundown, and you can leave your thoughts for the show, leave your thoughts for the podcast, and we'll definitely voice them on here because we like lending you guys a voice. So for Shay Hickson, my name is Eric Vasquez, and we'll see you on the next episode, guys. Take care.
See you later, guys.